In this lecture, I'll give you some very important tips that will help the spiders fetch important data when they're indexing your website and make sure any important content that you wish to appear in Google's search result is not missed out. So the first tip is properly linking all of the content of your site. Let's say you have 4 pages on your site, page A, B, C, and D. Assume page A is your home page. Now, when a spider visits your site, it goes directly to page A because it's your home page. It will crawl this page and find a link to page B. It will go to page B and start crawling that, and when it finds a link to page C, again it will go to page C and crawl it. But let's say you didn't link page D on page C or any other page. The only way to access page D is to search for it or type a URL for it. A bot cannot do both. It cannot search random words or type in a random URL. Now, since the bot never visited page D, it's not crawled, thus not stored in the search engine's database, and so it won't be able to appear in search results. Good practice is always link all the pages on your site, from A to B, and from B to C, and from C to D, and from D back to A. This way the spider goes through your complete site and properly stores each and every page. Now, the second tip is don't put text inside images. Google cannot read text on images, so don't put important text inside images. Spiders cannot read text in images, and if you use a lot of important text in images, they won't be crawled and will never appear in search results. You can see these 2 examples here. The left is a bad example, and on the right the text is outside the image and thus a proper way to present the content. Now, there's a way to tell a spider what an image is about, so if you use a dog's picture on your website, you can tell the spider, hey, it's a dog's picture. We have separate complete lecture on that, but for now, just don't use text on images, at least important text. Tip number 3, ask Google to crawl your website. Most of the time, Google automatically crawls your website, but there's an option where you can manually submit your website's links to Google. This way, your website will be crawled faster. Open up google.com and search Submit Link for Crawling and hit Enter. On the results page, select the first link, which is from google.com. It'll open up a website like this. Type in the URL of your website in this field and check the I am not a robot. And when it's done, click on Submit Request. So, to conclude, make sure everything in your website is properly linked together. Make sure you don't use important text in images. And lastly, manually submit a link to your website to Google so it's crawled as soon as possible.